This presentation is a production of the Animal Science Department at Purdue University.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alan Bridges, an assistant professor in the Department of Animal Science at Purdue University, and a member of the Purdue Beef Team. Continuing with our video series on reproductive management in beef cattle, today we're going to talk about the advantages of estrous synchronization and artificial insemination in beef cattle. Estrous synchronization and artificial insemination offers many advantages to the beef producer. One of the advantages is a tighter breeding period and subsequently a tighter calving period. This graph depicts the percentage of cows pregnant in the first week of the breeding season between a timed AI program and a natural service program. Since pregnancy rate is the product of submission rate times conception rate, with a timed AI program in which 100% of the cows are inseminated, in which we would expect about a 60% conception rate, 60% of the cows become pregnant in the first week of the breeding season. In a natural service program, given that the estrus cycle of a beef cow is approximately 21 days, approximately 33% of the cows will be in estrus in a 1-week period. Thus, submission rate in this case would only be 33%. Conception rate for a natural service program is approximately 65%. So 33% submission rate times 65% conception rate equals just over 20% of our cows conceiving and becoming pregnant in the first week of the breeding season when a natural service program is utilized. Hence, when estrus is synchronized and a timed AI program is used, greater than almost 40% more cows will be pregnant in the first week of the breeding season as compared to natural service. An advantage of getting more cows bred earlier in the breeding season is that they'll calve earlier in the calving season and have more uniform and heavier calves at weaning. Considering a calf will grow 2 pounds a day from birth until weaning, and each pound of gain is worth $1, each day older that calf is, they are worth an additional $2. Thus, a calf born 7 days earlier than another calf at weaning would be worth an additional $14. If we compare a calf born on the first day of the calving season to a calf born on the 60th day of the calving season, that calf born the first day of the calving season could be worth an additional $120 due to weighing more at weaning. Moreover, this calculation does not include the improved growth that the genetically superior AI sires may provide. Another advantage of estrous synchronization is that it provides an additional opportunity for cows to conceive during a fixed breeding period. If we insert the bull on the first day of the breeding season for 65 days, the cows will have 3 opportunities to conceive during that period of time. However, if we use estrous synchronization in AI and consider the date of AI the first day of the breeding season, the cows will have the AI for an opportunity to conceive, and then 3 subsequent opportunities to conceive during the remainder of that breeding season, thus having a total of 4 opportunities to conceive during a 65-day breeding season. Also, with our estrous synchronization in AI, we can introduce new genetics into our herd. We can often afford to buy a straw of semen from a genetically superior sire more easily than we can buy the sire itself. An additional advantage of estrous synchronization is that with many of our estrous synchronization programs, we can induce estrus cycles in anestrus cows and prepubertal heifers. Following calving, a cow requires a period of time for the uterus to heal, as well as a period of time for them to resume having normal estrus cycles. This period of time from calving until they resume having normal estrus cycles is termed the anestrus period. This anestrus period can be between 25 to greater than 80 days in length and can vary depending on several factors, including nutrition, if that cow had any calving problems, and age of the cow. It's important to recognize that a cow will not get pregnant until they resume having normal estrus cycles. Fortunately, many estrous synchronization programs can induce and estrus cows to resume having normal and fertile estrus cycles, thus jump-starting them in the breeding season, and allowing them to get pregnant earlier following calving. The ability to induce and estrus cows to have estrus cycles can be important for reproductive performance in a beef herd. These graphs demonstrate the proportion of cows and estrus at the start of the breeding season in various experiments. The first column illustrates that in over 2,000 cows at 12 different locations, at 69 days after calving, over 30% of these animals were still anestrus. In the middle column, in a study with over 850 cows, on an average of 56 days following calving, over 50% of these animals were anestrus at the start of the breeding season. Similar in heifers, the third column demonstrates that in over 700 heifers at greater than 14 months of age, over 40% of these heifers were prepubertal at the start of the breeding season. In a natural service program, these animals that were anestrus or prepubertal at the start of the breeding season would take an additional time to conceive until they naturally started coming into estrus. However, with estrous synchronization, we can induce these animals to begin having normal and fertile estrus cycles, thus allowing them to conceive earlier in the breeding period. An additional advantage of estrous synchronization and AI is it can help ensure that we have a yearling calving interval. From an economic standpoint, it is important for a cow-calf producer to have a calf every 365 days. For a cow to have a calf every 365 days, we have approximately 80 days from calving until that cow needs to conceive. This may be challenging in cows that calve late in the calving season. By including an estrous synchronization program that can assist anestrus cows into initiating estrus cycles, we can increase the proportion of cows that fit this yearly calving interval. An additional advantage of estrous synchronization and AI is it reduces the number of bulls required on our farm, thus reducing the number of bulls that must be fed and maintained in the non-breeding months. Now that we've discussed some of the advantages of utilizing an estrous synchronization and AI program, let's spend some time talking about the requirements for implementing a successful estrous synchronization and AI program on your farm. We must recognize that when doing an estrous synchronization program, we will have to handle the animals multiple times. Thus, we need to have adequate animal handling and working facilities in an attempt to minimize stress when handling the animals. Additionally, we need to have appropriate nutritional management of our cows. It is recommended that our cows be in a body condition score between 5 and 5.5 at calving, and at a minimum of 5 body condition score at the start of the breeding season. For optimal reproductive performance, we need to have optimal nutrition in our cow herds. Additionally, we need to have advanced planning and preparation. With our estrous synchronization programs, we need to have labor available when the animals need to be worked and handled, have to have our drugs ordered for the synchronization program, as well as the semen ordered for the AI program. For additional information on the advantages of estrous synchronization and AI in beef cattle, please contact Dr. Alan Bridges in the Department of Animal Sciences at Purdue University. Thank you, and have a nice day.